is Laura from LIVEVISIONZ.com. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the upcoming transit that's going on with Saturn going into Scorpio in October, in the beginning of the month. What does this mean? Well, Saturn is the teacher planet, and she restricts what she touches. So you may feel that depending on where it's hitting in your chart, you feel restricted in those areas. And you're going to be taught lessons in those areas that Saturn is in. So I want to say that in the next 2.5 years, whatever house Saturn is touching, it will become very stable for you. Things will become then stabilized by Saturn, and she creates foundation wherever she's transiting. In the beginning, it's not so fun though. But when she leaves, you're glad she was there, and you're happy, and you see the lesson, and you feel better for it. But during, you feel she's a total bitch, to be honest. Not gonna lie, it's true. But every time she leaves a sign, she leaves you a little gift. So whatever Saturn was transiting for you, when it goes to the next sign, she doesn't leave the gift until she goes into the next sign. And when she does, you'll notice that for all your hard work, you're rewarded in some way. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, I'm about to go into each sign and how it affects you, how Saturn is affecting each sign, where have you been, and where you're going. So stay tuned. Scorpio, this is Laura from LiveVisions.com. I wanted to give you an update on what to expect in October when Saturn moves into your sign. What does this mean for you? Well, the last 2 years when Saturn was in Libra was in your 12th house. What does this mean? For you, this means that you may have felt really restricted in your thinking, or maybe you talked yourself out of doing things that you wanted to do, or you may have felt it could have been a lonely time too. The 12th house is really, it's the house of what's hidden, what's behind the scenes. It's the house of your self-undoing. And Saturn is a restricted planet, and it basically teaches you lessons in the house that it's in. And you may have felt restricted in your thinking, or you may have felt like it could, like I said, you could have just been really lonely, or I want to say more like maybe you stopped yourself, because the 12th house is your self-undoing. So maybe it made you realize ways in which you inhibited yourself from moving forward. And maybe you've come to those realizations. And now that Saturn's moving into your first house, you can go forward with those ideas and all those thoughts that you had, and go for, maybe trying to go for the things that you weren't going for before. One thing I will say, when Saturn's in the first house, it's the house of self. And what does this mean for you? This means that you may find that a lot of areas of your life are being challenged. The house of self, what does it have to do with you? That's how you are in work, how you are in relationships, how you are with friends, how you are, it's everything, really. So you may find that, you're being pulled in different directions. And I want to say that September, you may have seen what's to come for you. So September could have been a stressful time, because you may have felt like you're being pulled in different directions, and things were, kind of stressful. But, I want to say this month, September, gives you a prelude as far as what's coming for you in the next 2.5 years, because Saturn takes 2.5 years to go through each sign. So the best advice I can really give you is cut away the things that you know are no longer serving you. Like Taurus, Scorpio, you are a fixed sign, and you don't like so much change. And you're great as far as intensity, because this could be a very intense time for you. After all, Saturn is in your sign. So you may feel like whatever's going on can be very full-on and intense for you, and you may feel challenged in many ways and pulled in different directions. But if you get rid of what's no longer serving you, and say, look, if it's a bad relationship, I really care about this person, but I gotta let him go, then it's something you're gonna notice. The way Saturn really is it kind of gives you, how do I say this? It's kind of like when you I use the analogy when mothers say clean your room, or if I clean it for you, you may not like it, I may throw everything away. Well, that's kind of like what Saturn's like. So if you know something's bad for you, cut it loose. Is the best thing I can tell you. But anyhow, it's a 2.5-year transit, and your life at the end of this 2.5 years, you would have really created some stability for yourself and some solid foundation at the end of the 2 years. So this was my synopsis on what's to come for Saturn and next 2.5 years. If you would like to take a basics class, click the link below. And if you would like to take an aspects class and you know the basics, click the link below that. And I'd be glad to have you. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye.